Hello and welcome to our regular roundup of Parliament's plenary session, which this week has taken place here in Brussels. Now, earlier this week, the heads of state and government of the 27 EU member states met here in Brussels to discuss the new fiscal compact treaty, which almost all member states will sign up to. The key debate at this plenary, therefore, was an opportunity to review the outcome of the informal European Council. Top of the summit's agenda was growth and employment, but the most urgent issue was the new treaty on fiscal stability in the Eurozone, a treaty whose importance has been underlined by ongoing events in Greece. The new treaty has been backed by all Eurozone members and most other EU countries. Only the UK and the Czech Republic have decided not to sign up. This treaty aims to consolidate efforts by the most indebted EU countries to get on top of their debt problems. It creates a framework to ensure strict surveillance of national budget deficits and sets out sanctions for countries that build up excessive deficits. The treaty also represents a decisive step in regulating the financial markets, which is one of the reasons the UK opted out, a position that drew an attack from German EPP group member Elmar Brok, one of Parliament's representatives negotiating the new treaty.
We wanted to have a common treaty, but due to the position of the United Kingdom, this wasn't possible. The UK's demand was that the financial markets should not be regulated, but we want to regulate the financial markets so that this casino doesn't destroy us. And that's the reason we had to reject the UK's demand.
EPP Group Chairman Joseph Daul pointed out that growth and sound finance should go hand in hand, and he called on member states to accept their responsibilities.
At this stage, I have three wishes. First, that the treaty is ratified as soon as possible. Second, that the treaty is implemented as soon as possible. Third, that this treaty is integrated into EU law as the Parliament has demanded. The crisis requires us to reconsider our bad habits. It demands that we respect the rules of balanced budgets, difficult though that is.
The need for strong fiscal and budgetary discipline is of paramount importance for long-term stability, according to Elmar Brok, whose resolution on the new treaty was approved by the plenary. He told MEPs, if you abandon discipline, then you will destroy the prospects of future generations. Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, 5 emerging economic and political heavyweights known collectively as the BRICs. For the EU, the growing international profile of the BRICs represents an opportunity for enhanced trade and also to engage politically with these increasingly influential players on the global stage. The emergence of the BRICs and other large democracies like Mexico, Indonesia and Turkey potentially holds many benefits for the EU, according to a report by Polish EPP member Saryusz-Wolski. His report says that if the EU wants to maintain influence in these countries, it needs to respond rapidly to their growing economic clout and their ambitions to play a greater part in international affairs.
Where foreign policy objectives of the BRICs converge, they are ready to concert efforts and act jointly. And in most cases, BRICs take positions opposed to those of the European Union, and they contest our positions and policy. Are we ready to react and to act? Ostrich policy of hiding head in the sand, believing that BRICs will stop existing, will not serve EU well.
In approving the Saryusz-Wolski report, MEPs also called for sufficient EU resources to be allocated to promoting and developing relations with the BRICs. Most of us enjoy playing or watching sport. It's part of our common European heritage. And sport is also a significant chunk of the European economy, estimated to be at least 400 billion euros. This week, MEPs voted on a report outlining the European dimension of sport and proposing political strategies for ensuring that sport remains accessible and enjoyable for all. The report was drafted by Santiago Fisas, a Spanish EPP member who captained his national amateur golf team. His report reflects the fact that since the Lisbon Treaty came into force in late 2009, the European Union has assumed responsibility for regulating sport. One element that requires closer scrutiny is the issue of doping in sport, on which the report takes an uncompromising view.
Drugs are a blight on sport and society in general. We must work on prevention through education, prosecuting traffickers, exposing cheats and harmonizing sports regulations and civil law while showing the utmost respect for athletes.
Among the key principles reinforced by the report include the social role of sport, particularly among minorities and disadvantaged groups, the need to promote a shared European identity through sport, and the problem of discrimination in sport.
Disgracefully, racism, xenophobia and homophobia are present in sport, so the implementation of new measures to eliminate these elements in sporting events is necessary.
The report reflected input from across the political spectrum, which ensured it was adopted with a substantial majority. Well, that's it for this week's EPP report. Join us again in a couple of weeks' time in Strasbourg, where we'll have more news about the Parliament and about the EPP group's pivotal role within it. Until then, you can catch up with all the latest developments on our website, eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.